My name's Blinky, and welcome to my garage. This is a full assorted kit of random clips and, well, yeah, they're all plastic clips for old school cars, mainly old Japanese Toyota stuff. We've got the grille clips here, just little random body clips, whoops, -1. All this kind of stuff is just so useful for trim panels and stuff. With these old cars, most of them are broken and corroded or deteriorated and break down, so I'll be using quite a few of these throughout the trim panels, but these ones here are the ones that I actually wanted. These are the grille clips that hold the front grille onto the front of the car, so I needed these really bad. Glad I got those. And I finally got my 12 volt sealed beam headlights. I can now take my 24 volt ones out and hook these up for good. I literally think these were like $14 each, and they will work just fine. And there we have working headlights. Finally, the proper 12 volt ones are in. I'm pretty sure that's actually low beam, and it's still really bright, so that's good. Let's put it on high beam. That's high beam. They're definitely a bit brighter. So that's really good. Easy fit, straight in, wide, straight up, no hassle. Mad. Now that I've got my radiator grille clip, for the radiator grille, there is 5 clips they have to push into these areas. There's one there, there's whichever one it goes in there, and then there's one on each side there. Alright, all the clips are in, let's grab the grille. So I've actually been struggling with these clips a little bit. A couple of things to note. I'll see if I can point this out. So the clip itself does clip into the chassis, no problem. It is, made for it. But there are some issues. This little round piece right there that kind of centers it on the actual grille is actually stopping it from going deep enough, so I got to remove that. And then on top of that, this little cutout where my knife is in between right there, that little gap is not big enough for what's on the grille. So I need to open up that gap a little bit by just removing the tiniest amount of distance on this outer kind of lobe end. So I've got to make this a little bit bigger by cutting it maybe there. And I need to remove these sides, and that actually allows the grille to clip in. So they've got it so close, but so far it just won't clip in. So I'm going to make these work for me. If you do end up with a set of these or something similar, this may be a fix for yourself if you struggle with it as well. Alright, so that gap now, this gap has now been opened up. May not look neat and tidy, but it will work. Now I've got to remove these little lug ends here. Sweet. Let's go test this one. We'll make this one nice and easy. I'll put it in this lower one here, it's accessible. We'll give it a test. Pop that back in place. Right, that's fixed it. I'm trying to pull on that, it ain't coming off. So I got to do that to the other 4, which is 2 on this side, 2 on this side, and then I'll finally be able to get it on. Alright, well I finally got the grill on. That was a pain in the rear end. Those clips are still not perfect. I'm not sure if I'm missing some parts that are supposed to go through these little holes to lock the little clip in place. I'm totally unaware if I need them or not, or if there is a thing that goes in there, but you know, it's on in place right now, so might ask some people on Facebook. But anyways, grill's on, lights are on. So we're now on to covering this back parcel shelf that lives in the back of the car, just with some cheap like vinyl. I've already put down the foam layer, so that's got a little bit more cushiness to it and help the vinyl stick. Pretty much the only holes that I need to keep in the back of this is that one there and that one there. That hole and that hole, they're just the little body pin clips that you push in just to hold it all in place. So I'm going to make sure these holes have been cut through by the end of this in the middle here. Apart from that, let's just cut this vinyl to size, lay it on top, glue it down, and stick it in the car. Alright, with that all trimmed up, I'm going to stick it in the back of the car. Alright, and we are in. We have a parcel shelf. It's not tacked down at the moment. Next is I need to put the two little holes where the push pins go, so they push it down into place. And then later on, some speakers will go in here as well, but I'll sort the speakers out, I don't know, when I'm ready for sound. So just put two little slots in there, just enough for the pins to push through. I really want to use these bigger clips, so I'm going to do that by drilling out the holes in the back. Damn it, I can't reach. Well, that takes care of that. This little pack of grommets that I bought is so good. That's excellent. We now have a parcel tray. When these little rivets went in to hold it down, it did put a small wrinkle through the middle of it. I'm not ultra fussed. I think it still looks 100% better. These little tiny clips that I bought the pack of, the trim pieces, man, they are so good. When these side trims go in, it actually pushes down on the edges as well, so it helps lock this back panel into place. Don't forget to feed your demister wire through one of the gaps to go onto your plug here before you put this panel in. But they've gone in really well. I got a couple of screws up here to put in, and that's it. That's looking really nice now. Let's continue. Alright, now I've been flat out since seeing you last. I actually managed to put the old seats back in. Before I did that though, I did put down the underlay, which is underneath this carpet. You can see these seats are in great need of trimming. And speak of the devil, There he is there. Alright, so brother and I have just decided to lower it down and take it for a little bit of a roll outside onto the driveway. It does look a fair bit better. Those wheels do sit nicely inside the guards now that it's not on jack stands. We're just going to roll it out into the sun, let it sit there for a while I have another opportunity to clean the garage. But the seats are now in. They do need to be trimmed when you get around to that. I still need to put the front windscreen in. We did this just so we can test out the bolt holes positions and make sure the carpet's trimmed right, which it is. I'm happy with it. So let's get this thing out into the sun so I can clean up my garage for the 5th time this month. Alright, so we're about to roll her back into the garage. She seems to run really nice, which is great. It sounds good, looks good, all of the good stuff. Everything is working on it, which is great. All the sensors, temperature, fuel, oil light, the seats are in, the wheels look great, the front's dropped down real nice. So the height in the front is pretty much perfect, and the rear is not too far off. I don't know if I even want to lower the rear at all. Maybe 1 inch at most, but in all honesty, it may just stay where it is. What else? Need to find a new steering wheel because that looks horrible. Seats need to be trimmed. Handbrake boot needs to be found. Front windscreen needs to go in. Paint's popping in the sunlight. Headlights are on. Indicators and lights work. The car still needs a really good cut and buff, I guess. Like a final polish, etc. But until I get around to that, it's just going to be as is. Now, I also did put the chrome trim around the water channel here. I figured out that it was still in good condition, and I was going to spray it black, but I thought, you know what? Leave a little bit of chrome on the car just to suit the door handles and the fuel filler cap as well. I already put the rear windscreen in just to make sure that those rubbers worked well. They do, but I will guide you through the front window install anyway in another video. Anyway, let's get this sucker back inside now that my garage has been swept out. Back in its resting place for a little while. God, that looks nice. Adios.